Hey, what is up everybody, and welcome back to another video. Alright, today we have another death battle, because I'm weirdly enjoying them. I don't know why it's weird, but I am enjoying them so much, I don't know why. I always said to myself, because I've seen a few people do reactions to death battles and stuff, and I'm like, I don't think I would ever make that a series. Maybe the odd one, and then I started with the odd one, and now I can't help myself. They're just so fun to watch, man. Even if you don't agree with necessarily with what you've watched in, there are a lot of people that are going to disagree with whatever the outcome is, or are going to be people that'll argue one which way or the other. But I don't know, they're so fun to watch. I don't know what it is. I love the breakdowns. I love the battles themselves. Yes, maybe sometimes I would disagree with the outcomes of some from the odd one that I can remember, but you know, you're not going to be able to please everybody. They do the best with what they have. But with that being said, my dogs, I said the W word moments before I started recording, and he's not happy with me because I haven't immediately taken him out yet. I'll be doing it when this video is rendering. But anyways, Omni-Man versus Homelander. Oh, this one's going to be a good one. I love Invincible, and I love The Boys. It's such a fun show, man. And, like, both of these characters are pretty goddamn unhinged. One definitely more than the other. But this one's... I don't even have to think about this one. Omni-Man has this one in the bag. Like, there is no way in hell Homelander is beating Omni-Man. Not a chance. They're essentially the same characters. One's an incredibly unhinged baby tantrum maker, and the other one is an alien soldier who can just dominate planets at will, with basically nobody apart from his own kind able to stop him. So I just don't think at all that Homelander could possibly win this. There's no thought in my head. He's unhinged, definitely, and that's probably the only thing that he has. And I do know that Viltrumites are... I think they're sensitive to sound. And Homelander has been seen to, like, scream really loud. Like, that's one of his... I don't know necessarily if it's an ability or he just can just scream loud. So I suppose that could probably affect him. And the only other difference in abilities is, I think, unless... because I don't read the comics for Invincible or The Boys, so unless they have abilities that I haven't seen yet, which I don't think they do, the only one that I can think of off the top of my head that Homelander has an advantage for is his laser eyes, the thing that he uses the most to, you know, decapitate people and just be unhinged. But I'm fairly certain, yeah, I'm fairly certain that that Omni-Man could take that. I think he's probably survived hotter ordeals. And he can fly around in space. So you can fly around the vacuum of space. You almost let a friggin' black hole devour him that one time. So I'm just convinced that probably wouldn't even affect him at all. But, as always, we're about to find that out. That's my bet. Definitely my bet is 100%. I will put money on it that Omni-Man is going to win this one. There's no doubt in my mind. So, anyways... we're about to figure it out. Hope you guys are excited. Let's go. Also, if I sound weird, I have a tiny bit of a blocked nose, but I've also just ate a Bombay Bad Boy pot noodle. But I love spice, and there's not enough spice in that for me, so I put in extra hot chili powder. And I ever done that thing where like it clumps up a little bit, and you go to pour it out, and all of a sudden a big clump just falls on it? Well, that happened. So it was like an extra spicy one, so it's made my nose run a little bit. So if I sound weird, that is why. But let's go.
Omni-Man, the invincible champion from...
hell yeah.
Nitro. Homelander, the world's greatest superhero.
Absolutely not.
International.
He's a fucking
Few
nut
heroes
job.
have stood the test of time with more aplomb than the very first, Superman. But what if absolute power did, in fact, corrupt absolutely? Answer, we're all screwed. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick. And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Oh, is that the animation behind them? Oh, that looks pretty good.
Look,
Ooh, that looks pretty good.
It's a plane. No, it's Omni-Man. Had you go in there for a second, huh? Not really. His name is in the title of the video. Well, you might be forgiven for mistaking.
Damn straight it is. I will say, though, when I first watched Invincible, I had no idea what it was. And I was not expecting... I don't know if anybody was, but I was not expecting the end of episode 1 to end the way it did. Yeah, absolutely nuts. I've missed playing twice. Moving on.
He's even got that sexy mustache that he's not afraid to hide with terrible CGI. Born on the planet Viltrum, Nolan was sent to Earth to act as its superpowered alien defender and spread the enlightenment of his utopian homeworld. And as his superhero alter ego Omni-Man, there was no one better.
Really wants his son to
he
think.
Saved the world countless
Think,
times,
Mark.
alongside the Guardians of the Globe, and even married and
Think.
had a son, Mark. Life couldn't be better until Mark
In
inherited
500
his
years,
dad's
what will you have?
That's when Mark found out that his dad was a stinking rat bastard liar. Turns out, Viltrum wasn't exactly the peaceful utopia Nolan promised. Peaceful in the sense that they culled half their population, murdering billions with their bare hands until only the strongest were left, united by a common purpose. This Viltrumite empire then went on to conquer planet after planet in their home galaxy.
Completely normal thing to do.
Who dared oppose them. So just scratch that whole peaceful part entirely. And turns out Omni-Man was here to do that same thing to Earth. Sorry, Mark. Your dad's a dick. Even worse,
Gross.
he's easily the most powerful being on the entire planet. Imagine combining the raw power of a Kryptonian and the bloodlust of a Saiyan, and what you get is basically a Viltrumite. Due to their unique DNA, Viltrumites are composed of smart atoms that they can manipulate to achieve superhuman feats, like holding their breath for weeks on end by drawing more energy from the oxygen inside them. Kinda reminds me of
Completely
that
normal thing to do again.
electric aura thing Superman has. That's basically how comic writers bullshit a science-y explanation for his powers. Except smart atoms make even less sense. How can atomic structure be designated by your DNA? DNA is made of atoms. It's completely nonsensical biological hogwash that I cannot
That's
stand.
totally what I was thinking as well.
I'm calling this
Hogwash.
debunked. Viltrumites can fly, withstand near absolute zero temperatures, and even possess insane healing factors. You know, stuff like getting punched through the stomach, having your guts ripped out, or having your face smashed up in a tomato soup. I don't mean to exaggerate, but Viltrumites in this series get fucked up.
Yeah, they do.
Survive. However, too much trauma to the brain or heart can overtax their healing factors, and intense heat can be especially damaging. Even the most powerful Viltrumites can be killed by extended baths in the...
Let me have a look. Plasma implies highly energetic subatomic particles. If the temperature climbs too high, these can pass through and interfere with the... Yeah, I don't think, even with heat vision, I don't think it's going to get that hot.
The spicy hot plasma of a star. And because of their
It's definitely not the heat of a star. There's no way.
More sensitive than a regular human.
And yes, I knew about that one.
Pressure will disrupt their fragile equilibrium and even prevent them from flying. Though pushing themselves to their physical limits only ends up making them way stronger. And considering Nolan has been alive and planet conquering for thousands of years, he's easily one of the toughest Viltrumites around. Like other aliens
Such a
attacking
fucked up
him
start.
will literally splatter their bodies against him. But Mark didn't inherit everything from his dad. Despite his alien genes, Mark was raised as a human with our weak...
Also, I will say this as well. Adam Eve, her power's fucking nuts. Like, she is so fucking overpowered. Not in like a strength kind of way, but obviously she can manipulate the atoms around her to do whatever she wants. It's insane. It's actually insane.
Pathetic human values like love and compassion and not brutally murdering the shit out of everyone you see like a maniac. Really made it difficult for Nolan to relate to his kid. Such as when these aliens invaded Earth. Mark tried his best to minimize casualties and outsmart his numerically superior foes. Nolan, meanwhile, tackled their leader through the portal
Yeah, he
back to their
did.
homeworld, then spent some time systematically annihilating their planet for even daring to take Earth from him. Classic generational divide. Annihilate is underselling it. Nolan flew so fast that his body lit their planet's atmosphere on fire, creating massive countryside
Fucking insane, man.
with his own body as the projectile.
Omni-Man has flown across galaxies in only a week, survived punching a hole through a planet, and even deflected a meteor the size of Texas.
Assuming that means the diameter of the meteor is equivalent to the distance from the top of the Panhandle to the Gulf of Mexico, that would make it 1,300 kilometers wide.
And weigh over 4.6 quintillion tons, moving at re-entry speeds of over 11,000
It's not too,
meters per second. It had hit with enough energy to
It's not too heavy.
destroy the moon twice over.
So Omni-Man is strong enough to slaughter those who considered him an ally, the Guardians of the Globe, all to ensure as
Son of a dick.
to the coming Viltrumite
He is.
rule as possible.
He's an asshole.
Bad for Nolan, it wouldn't be that easy, because he'd have to go through his son first.
Mark was horrified by his father's treachery, spurred on by the reveal that Nolan only viewed his mother as a pet, a disposable broodmare. Invincible fought Omni-Man to save the planet.
And that's when Mark's real Viltrumite training began. Get it?
This is brutal as fuck as
Like
well.
the train?
Yes, we get it. It was a good pun. Jesus.
But if anything, it was Omni-Man that learned a lesson about humanity that day.
He may have tried to turn Mark into a Viltrumite, but in reality, as Nolan fled Earth with tears in his eyes, Mark made his father human.
But there's no turning human to this one. He's a fucking scumbag.
Life
I don't
can
want-
be
no.
overwhelming, and many people are burned out without even knowing battle.
LP Death. Welcome
There we go.
to Vought International, a multi-billion-dollar American conglomerate whose #1 products are the greatest superheroes on the face of the earth.
That's right. Superheroes are real and they're big business.
And they only care about numbers,
That
baby.
possesses a monopoly on popular culture, pumping out movies, TV shows, action figures, and video games constantly, drowning the masses in a slurry of focus-tested nostalgia opium with no end in sight.
Yeah. Imagine.
Within Vought's pantheon of gods among men is their premier super team, the Seven, and its leader, Homelander.
He's got the looks, the charm.
And I know everybody says this, but my god, Anthony Starr plays such a good character. Homelander is as much as a unhinged, crazed psychopath as he is, there is no denying Anthony Starr plays him incredibly well. And I'm not jealous at all of the fact that he can just get that insane range of emotion to show what is essentially a crying baby child man thing and make him look so incredibly unhinged. And every time he's on the screen, it's the most tense thing ever. I have no idea what he's going to do. Is he going to laugh at the joke that you've just told? Or is he going to get offended and just laser your head off? You're going to find out, or you're not going to find out. Everything's just going to go black. I don't know.
The Jesus. And most importantly, he's got the power to slaughter all of America's enemies at home and abroad. This guy probably eats freedom and shits eagles.
But Homelander's squeaky clean corporate sheen is only skin deep. Far from the big blue Boy Scout he's marketed as, Homelander is probably the closest thing to Lucifer on Earth.
Yep.
Remember Bad Future Biff from Back to the Future? Now give him superpowers and media training.
Vought's official story is that Homelander was an alien who landed here as a baby, a tale we're all familiar with.
And one that's total bullshit. Homie was made in a lab with Vought's proprietary super soldier serum, Compound V.
And he was a complete success.
Too much of a success. He was
Way too
murdered
much of a
by
success.
Terrified scientists before his umbilical cord was even cut. In the comics, Vought had to keep a remote-controlled hydrogen bomb strapped to him at all times because they had no idea what else could possibly kill him.
As he grew up, he was subjected to psychological conditioning to make him the greatest and most profitable hero of all time.
It wasn't long before he debuted as Homelander, the ultimate defender of the American dream.
Homelander
His head's
possesses
changed so much.
superhuman strength, speed, and durability. He can fly at hypersonic speeds, see through walls with X-ray vision, and detect a person's emotional state from just the sound of their heartbeat.
But you know you're done for when he breaks out his heat vision, which is strong enough to slice through crowds of people,
Yep.
or split airplanes in half.
Or screams so loud that it shatters the eardrums of anyone around him.
Those are innocent bystanders whose ears
So there,
are
yeah,
splitting,
he's
by the
definitely
way.
going to be
Homelander
using that against
totally
Nolan.
botched this mission to stop a plane hijacking, so he forced each and everyone on board to die in the resulting crash so they wouldn't reveal his incompetence.
Well, Homelander's powers may be real, but his heroism is a charade. Though he plays his part well, he cares nothing for the peons he's forced to protect.
The only thing he treasures is, ironically, his public image. Turns out being raised as a lab experiment doesn't create a healthy person. Don't worry,
Does it
he
not?
eventually cleaned up his act and started a totally 100%
Yep.
healthy sexual relationship
With a
fellow
Nazi.
superhero who just happened to be an actual Nazi.
Yep.
Speaking
Totally
of
normal,
sex,
baby.
You know how I'm always saying we should figure out how Superman and Lois get busy? Well, forget that, because Homelander proved that they can't when his ejaculation blew his partner to smithereens. Who drew that?
Look, there's no way to sugarcoat this. Considering a human's load has much less mass than a shotgun pellet, it would have to be moving significantly faster to achieve the same kinetic energy.
But how fast we're talking
100
about?
meters per second, or 4.5 times faster than sound.
That's right. Homelander can bust a nut faster than the speed of sound. Well, good night, everybody. Ooh, kind of sucks for humanity that they.
Oh,
made
that's
us
horrible,
the most
that.
powerful being on the planet and a psycho murderer.
That's no exaggeration. Stillwell even commented that Homelander has proven immune to every weapon known to mankind, no matter how powerful. Humanity literally lacks the ability to kill him.
That'd include nuclear weapons as powerful as the Tsar bomb, which exploded with the energy of 50 megatons of TNT.
Actually, it could have exploded with twice that. But the Soviets who created it were afraid it would irreversibly alter Earth's biosphere and end the world. That's right, we all almost died.
And that's the kind of shit Homelander can shrug off no problem. He's strong enough to throw a jet with one hand and fast enough to outspeed a C4 explosion.
Despite being an emotionally stunted man-child, Homelander is still surprisingly cunning and able to manipulate those around him.
Though it probably wasn't too smart to piss off the world's angriest
Billy
Logi,
Butcher, baby.
Butcher. Yeah, turns out forcibly fathering a bastard son with someone else's wife is not a good idea.
Of note, as unjustifiable as it is, to Homelander, this gave him something he never had before. Some small measure of control over his own life.
Being born Vought's star pupil meant he was under their thumb from the day he was born. His superpowered son was the first thing that was truly his and might be his best option.
Because Stan Edgar, he don't give a shit.
Or
That scene.
not.
So it's just everything about, and you saw the way he plays it. Even just there when he's on top, like, shit. Well, he didn't fly. Not that he's bothered that his mother's going to be pissed with him, because, you know, he just blasts her face off. But yeah, just a few things I wanted to say. So yeah, as Stan Edgar, don't give a shit in the show and in the comics. And what makes it funny, if you didn't know, is that obviously he can detect people's emotional state. He can also hear their heartbeat. So every time he speaks to Stan Edgar and he's threatening him and saying, oh, I could kill you, I could do this, that, and the other, and Stan's just completely fine, completely monotone. He knows all that time that Stan is actually not scared of him because his heartbeat does not waver in the slightest. And the only other time I think that seems to happen is with Billy, because his heartbeat, I think there's one scene where like his heartbeat's racing, but Homelander says it's not through fear, it's through anger. So, pretty badass. And also, in the comics, Homelander's not exactly more redeemable, but a little bit more redeemable, because it turns out that, spoilers for the comics if you're ever going to read the comics, but the show has went a completely different way, so you don't have to worry about spoilers on that part. But it turns out in the show, in the comics, sorry, Black Noir is a clone of Homelander, and all the atrocities, the things that Homelander's been getting accused of, turns out he was the one that did them, and that completely fucked up Homelander in the head. He was already a bit, you know, but yeah, that fucked him up even more. And then they ended up having a battle, and then the clone beats the real Homelander, and then Billy Butcher goes out and just fucking rips his head, like sticks a crowbar like through his head and just... It's disgusting. It's disgusting. But anyways, we're going to continue with the fight.
This episode is sponsored by
No.
Mobile.
No, we don't want that. Come on. Come on. There we go.
Time for a death battle!
My money is still on Nolan at this point. Oh, I like the animation as well. The animation's cool.
Howdy, neighbor. Coco? It's warm. You know, Nolan, Homelander is more than just a superhero. It might be cynical to say this, but he's a brand. And it's very important to me that that brand means something.
What have you done?
And if I'm playing second fiddle to some goddamn alien, what's really the point, right? What do you think, Debbie?
Oh, he killed Debbie. He made her a skeleton. Now, I don't actually know. I mean, Nolan evidently does, to some degree, like Debbie. As much as he called her a pet, and he then proceeded to go to a different planet and procreate with a weird alien thing. But, you know, I don't know how pissed he'll actually be with this, or the fact that he's just, like, entered his home without his permission and trying to beat his ass. I don't know what'll piss him off more.
Aw, she's shy.
He fucked up, though, immediately.
Sure you have an understanding? Get the fuck out of my country.
I'm going to feed you your own heart.
Well, that was just the most badass line I think I've ever heard in my life. What the fuck?
Shit. That was a great line.
Hell yeah, it was.
Country? Seriously? I'm not here for your country.
He's here for your world, baby. Yeah, Homelander has never fought anybody that is on par with him, whereas Nolan has many times, so I just really can't see him winning. Well, suppose that worked.
Never been hit by someone your own size before? You have to turn with the punch to reduce.
Ooh.
Better.
Yeah. He got bitchy with it.
What's the matter? Are you going to cry?
He doesn't stand a fucking chance.
After I'm done with you, I'm gonna flash right that little shit son of yours! This worthless neighborhood! And every goddamn person you know!
Oh, God! He's gonna feed you the heart, isn't he?
Remember what I promised you. Now swallow.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Merry Christmas.
He didn't stand a fucking chance. He didn't stand a chance.
Wiz, if there's a god, it sure seems like he was working out some aggression there.
Despite Homelander's dominance within the world of the boys, he's a big fish in a small pond, relatively speaking. Homelander can move faster than sound, while Omni-Man can move faster than light. Homelander can survive a nuke, while Omni-Man can shatter the moon twice over.
To be fair, Homelander did have a couple of abilities Omni-Man didn't, like his heat vision.
And while Viltrumite healing factors have failed against continuous exposure to the heat of stars, that still took quite a bit of time, and there's no reason to think Homelander's heat vision was anywhere near that hot.
Hell, Nolan's tanked heat vision from the superhero Mean Supreme before, who can vaporize people in an instant.
Even if it was hot enough, Omni-Man's superior speed would cut him off
Yeah.
before he could do any lasting damage. Similarly, despite being able to disrupt his equilibrium with his supersonic screaming, Homelander wasn't strong enough to capitalize on it in any meaningful way.
Plus, while Homelander is pretty devious when the situation calls for it, Omni-Man has been fighting and conquering worlds for thousands of years. He comes
We fucking
from a
called
warrior
it.
Culture based on
We
fighting.
absolutely
Homelander,
called
on
it.
the other hand, comes from a test tube and never had to push himself as a fighter because he was always so much stronger than everyone else.
And that's the key difference between them. One is a warrior, and the other is a bully. Homelander was never going to give up easy.
The other one's a man-child.
Power and Viltrumite heritage earned him the win.
When it comes to Superman knockoffs, Homelander had to eat his heart out.
The winner is Omni-Man.
Got it again, baby. My God, we are on a roll when it comes to guessing these ones, but Like I said at the beginning, I thought this one was incredibly obvious. I couldn't think of a single way that Homelander was ever going to win against Nolan. There's no freaking way in hell. Like you said, even when it comes to stuff like, even if, hypothetically speaking, Homelander was physically stronger to some degree than Nolan, which he definitely was not. There's no way. He doesn't know how to fight. He can overpower everybody. He doesn't know how to physically fight, which I believe is probably one of the reasons he almost lost to Butcher and Soldier Boy. They both know how to fight. He's never really had to fight because, like he said, he's so much stronger than everybody he goes up against, and everybody fears him. What would be the point? What would be the point of fighting when you can just laser someone's face off or punch a hole through their gut or force them to do what you want because they're so goddamn fucking scared of you? So yeah, even if he was stronger, I don't really think he could have landed too many punches on Nolan, apart from, you know, when he screams. And I think that would only happen and only work a few times, because I'm sure Nolan would just, you know, either get used to it or figure out a way to stop that from happening. Which he did by ripping off his jaw and then feeding him his own heart. Which, by the way, yet again, is an absolutely badass line. And I will never use it because I don't have the physical strength nor desire to rip out somebody's heart. That would be terrifying. But yes, we absolutely nailed it once again. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Let me know if you got it right. I thought it was pretty obvious, but maybe you guys thought Homelander was gonna, I don't know, pull some insane shit and beat his ass. I have no idea. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you do, please do leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It does help massively, and I do massively appreciate it. And I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.